بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. A new episode of our program Spirit of Values. Today we will discuss the value related to talents. What is a talent? What different talents do we have? How can we discover and identify the talents? So will be the main topic in this episode. Let's start thinking. What is a talent? A talent is a gift from God. Anyone is born talented, this is for sure. But there are 9 types of intelligences well defined by Gardner. Usually, newborn babies carry 2 types of genetic intelligence out of the 9. If we can discover the talents since childhood, this will help achieve lots of issues towards our kids, then towards our nation. Today's episode, we are shooting from the Library of Children in the public library in Sharjah. Let's start with talents. Please have a notebook and a pen to share with me some of the ideas that I will give in this episode. Let's start, how can we discover the talents of our kids? Usually at the age of 3 to age of 8, you can discover the talents of the children. How? I mentioned we have 9 types of intelligences, and we are born with 2 types. The other 7 types of intelligences we can gain through skills. But why not to discover our kids and their talented and their competencies since childhood? Let's start, and please evaluate yourself or evaluate your kids. If you want to evaluate yourself to look for your talent, get back to your childhood, please. Go back to the age of 4. First type of intelligence is called mathematical and analytical intelligence. People or students or kids since childhood love math, love numbers. They can relate issues together. They think in physical terms. They can relate issues, relate numbers together. How much you evaluate yourself or your children out of 20 for this type of intelligence, analytical, mathematical. One of the highest people in this is Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is one of the highest people in mathematical analytical intelligence, where he, in the quantum of physics, he presented to us the relativity theory. Second type of intelligence is what we call body movement intelligence. People who rely on their physical abilities and competencies. And by the way, each type of intelligence is usually subdivided into 10 or more talents. And each talent can go through 10 to more jobs. So if you discover the intelligence, then you can dig for the talent, then you can invent and actually go for an organization, a work in your talent. So body movement intelligence, you can find kids who depends on their physical abilities in football, racing, boxing, drawing even, it's some sort of body movement. Example of this, for example, Ronaldo, Messi, Mohamed Salah, they depend on physical body movement intelligence. Swimming, horse riding, all issues related to the physical competencies. Since childhood, they love lots of movement. Discover your kid and allow the talent to flourish and grow, then to be developed. Third type of intelligence is what we call environmental intelligence. Environmental intelligence, those people who love outdoors. For example, plants, they love trees, pets, animals. They are environmental people. They love to be outdoor. Rate yourself again out of 20 for yourself or for your kid, out of 20 for what we call environmental intelligence. They work in agriculture, in land studies. All of these are outdoors. So type 4 intelligence is what we call sound and voice and musical intelligence. Kids since childhood, they have a lovely voice. Usually they go for singing, or they always going ta na na. They love the voice. They have a nice voice since childhood, or they love music. They can repeat a certain rhythm. For example, Beethoven, you'll find singers, all of these. Abdul Basit Abdul Samad is again the sound. So all of these are types of intelligence. Evaluate yourself or your kid out of a 20 for this type of intelligence. Number 5 is what we call linguistics, languages, vocabulary. People who are born, they love reading since childhood. They master reading, writing, for example, Bernard Shaw, William Shakespeare, and you'll find, for example, Najib Mahfouz. All of these are Khalil Gibran, examples of people who are authors, love reading, love writing. Discover your kid, yourself, out of a 20, rate this type of intelligence. But if you come, for example, to one who love writing and books, and you start thinking, why don't you go for physics? Why you don't go like Einstein? He is born or she is born to be an author, not for physics or so and on. So discover, please, your kid ability and competency. The other type or sixth type of intelligence is what we call social intelligence. People who go for love talking. Usually they achieve lots in marketing, in public speaking, but usually people in this area, they threaten people who talk too much. As a kid, some sort of terminology, talkative. No, it's not talkative. He or she is very social. If we invest in this type, we can help this talent to grow and will achieve lots of issues. The other type of intelligence is what we call geographical intelligence. So geographical intelligence, people since childhood love location, places, love tourism. They love to move around between places, and they can easily look for directions. If you tell them you can go north, or you go, for example, to the northern part, they easily can find locations. And by the way, who invented the GPS application is actually geographical intelligent person. Christopher Columbus discovered America. Ibn Battuta, the Arabic traveler who goes lots in the world. So whenever we discover the talent of our kids, we can invest. So rate yourself or your kid out of a 20 for geographical intelligence. The number 8 intelligence is what we call emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence actually is a very broad subject. And usually people who are emotionally intelligent can have 5 skills. Evaluate yourself or your kid in the following 5 skills. Give each skill a mark out of 4. So by the 5, we can go for the 20 mark estimation. The first skill in emotional intelligence is self-awareness. People who are highly emotional intelligent, they know themselves. They know their strengths, their fears, their desires, their weaknesses. So self-awareness is very high. How much you rate yourself or your kid out of 4 by self-awareness. The second skill in emotional intelligence is what we call ability to manage negative emotions. And emotions, we have 2 types of emotions. Positive emotions, negative emotions. Negative emotions, anger, sadness, boredom, depression, all of these. Emotional intelligent people can easily manage negative emotions and get rid of. How much you evaluate your kid or yourself out of 4 for this skill in the emotional intelligence, ability to manage negative emotions. How much you evaluate yourself or your kid out of 4 for this skill, self-motivation. These 3 are called what we call self-emotional intelligence. But also people who have high level of emotional intelligence, Let's go for skill number 4, motivating others. Highly people of emotional intelligence can motivate others, can let the depression go out of the people who feel depression. So ability to motivate. And usually in leadership, if you remember the episode, the second episode of leadership, we mentioned the concept of emotional intelligence. Leaders are emotional intelligent people who can motivate their team, their members to go and achieve. The fifth skill is what we call communication. And one of the previous episodes, we discussed the value of communication. How much can you easily communicate, express yourself is what we call the communication level. It's the fifth skill in the emotional intelligence. Evaluate yourself or your kid out of 4. So sum up the total for these 5 skills, you will get your mark out of 20 for emotional intelligence. The last type of intelligence is what we call intrapersonal intelligence, where we have the wise people, wisdom is there, Socrates, philosophers. Since childhood, they ask lots of big questions. Sometimes even parents cannot answer their questions. They start since childhood asking questions like, how we come to this world? Where is God? Who's God? They start asking big questions, and lots of parents cannot answer. We have to answer our kids according to their level of understanding, but we cannot hide the facts. So wise people start from childhood with what we call intrapersonal, high level of questions, inner questions. They are very quiet, but usually when they ask questions, they let others actually get angry of how to answer this question. There is a technique that we apply in creativity. It's called be a child. One of the creativity tools to support talent, be a child. For example, questions like this. Why the sky is blue? Can you please answer? Why the sky is blue? And one kid asked me, once I was walking with him, he asked me, wow, why this rose is red, although trees are green? Can you answer, please? Big questions like this, although seems childish questions, but this hide, again, a high level of thinking and creativity. So these types of 9 intelligences. Now, circle the 2 highest intelligences out of 20. When you circle this, I assure you, your talent is within these 2 types of high intelligence. Discover the talent, try now to achieve more using your talent. So this is for kids, how to apply the concept of talents in organizations. Actually, there is a recommended managerial approach called TMS, Talent Management System. In this system, we have 4 stages. The first stage is what we call talent identification, TID, talent identification. We start identifying the different talents we have in the organization. How we do this? We can use observation, we can use questionnaires, we can use coaching sessions. We mentioned in one of the episodes the coaching technique, how to apply it for creating values and for discovering the values. So coaching, training, questioning, observation. Also in organization, we recommend 3 strategies to identify the talents. Job rotation. When we make job rotation, actually we are trying to discover the talents of our employees and enriching their skills. But job rotation, then job enrichment. When we discover a certain talent, we go for deepening its strength by giving more direction towards professional certificates, education, training, and what we call job enlargement. So we enrich, we make job rotation, then we give higher positions to get benefit from these talents. So the first step in this approach is what we call talent identification. The second is what we call talent framing. How to frame all types of talents to serve the organizational objectives. Here, we recommend the HR department or the human capital department to go for new strategies with the managers of the different departments to frame the talents to serve the organizational objectives and strategic goals. The third step is what we call talent development, TD. And in talent development, we start looking for what we call personal development planning, PDP, in HR. We start looking for how to develop this talent. Is it by training, by coaching, by getting higher degrees in master degree, professional certificates? All of these education, development, and training will help stage number 3, which is talent development. And then we go to stage number 4, which is called talent investment, in which we try now initiatives in new projects for this talent. So this will help the organization to get benefit from its employees, where we can apply all techniques and talents for the serving of the organizational objectives. So initiatives, projects. So we apply the talent management system. In this, we will help all our organizations to get benefit, and actually return of investment will be higher. So in this episode, we discussed the concept of talent, a gift from God, how to discover it in our kids, in our children, then how to invest in this and try to approach a higher level in organization by applying talent management system. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.